Greetings and welcome. You are in the zone, the BIZ Info Zone. Hi, I'm Lynn Hawkins and I'm your host. I am the founder and dean of the P3 Academy of Social Entrepreneurship, where we help entrepreneurs to accelerate business growth through the 12 practices of business acceleration and the 5 tiers of business success. So welcome to today's show. Again, you're in the zone where, it is for you, the savvy social entrepreneur, to express your purpose, plan your next moves, get that implementation in process, and take your business into profits and your life into prosperity. So today I'm so excited. A dear friend of mine is here to have a discussion with me around a power element that she has framed, the power of 7. And, when we were talking not too long ago, one day last week or the week before, we actually got into this conversation around story. And we wanted to bring this conversation into the zone for you so that you can see the inner works of the power of 7 and story. So my guest today is Desiree Doubrox. She is the CEO and founder of An Empowered Woman. She has a mobile magazine called Let's Talk Success, and she's just doing some amazing things in the world today for women entrepreneurs who are moving that 6-figure business into 7 figures and just improving not only what they're doing in business, but what they're doing in life and in the lives of others. So welcome, Desiree. Hi there. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you so much for allowing me this opportunity to share these thoughts with your community. It's a pleasure. It's my pleasure. Good Monday morning.
Yes, it is. It's Monday morning. And when I think about it, it's like we were attempting to do the show last Thursday at our regular scheduled time, and the Gremlins decided to show up and kind of play with us around doing this show. But what the Gremlins don't understand is that when there is purpose and power and where they meet, things happen. So there was no way that we were actually not going to do this show. And what's nice about it is that we're talking about a powerful subject, and that's the power of 7. But before we even get into all of that, Desiree, take a moment and tell our audience, those who don't know you, who don't know An Empowered Woman, tell us a little bit about how you got started on this journey and got to this place of sharing and helping women entrepreneurs to build such amazing businesses at this point.
Surely, my pleasure. I was an entrepreneur at the age of 12. That's when I started my first business. And it was something as simple as that my mother used to take me to dance lessons in the morning, and I would teach those same dance lessons to younger children in the afternoon at our local playground. So it was a glorified babysitting service. The parents would drop the kids off for a couple of hours, and we dance, and then we prepared for a recital. When my school prepared for a recital, we prepared for a recital. When we had to sell tickets, my students had to sell tickets. And we had a very, very full sellout, standing room only event where my sister was collecting the ticket money at the front door. My brother was back behind the scenes doing the record player, and anything that young children do is cute. But what we didn't know at the age of 12 is that there was such a thing as occupancy, maximum occupancy. And so somebody realized that we were crowded, and they contacted the management, and the management came to shut us down. But fortunately for us, we were just about finished, and we closed the show out. But I say the moral of that story is that many times we think, and I see women all the time waiting for different certifications or degrees or the higher levels of education, which is all good. Every little bit helps. I'm a firm believer of knowing all that you can. But you don't have to start there. There's always, wherever you are, somebody doesn't know that. You can start at that point. So I think it's really important, Lynn, because again, wherever you are, that somebody doesn't know what it is. There's an element but below that you can teach and monetize and actually fund your way to learning, more. So that was the first experience. And thereafter that, in school, in high school, they sell the world's famous chocolate bars. The greatest chocolate bars for $1. We had to sell them as a fundraiser. And I realized one day that there was 12 pieces to the bar as opposed to 10. So I sold them 10 cents a piece. So that means I got 20-cent profit to a bar. And then the funny part about it is I sold them right at the recess yard. So at the schoolyard, the kids that had the same chocolate bars in their backpacks would come rushing to me to pay 10 cents a piece for them. So I wound up selling more. I won the prize for selling the most chocolate bars. I made 20 cents a bar, so I made a profit on it. And it was a great experience. The moral of that story is, again, many times we have packages, we have programs, we have books, we have things that we can break up into smaller pieces and sell them that way. We can sell a series of things until we build up to a book. We sell a series of a program until we build up to a full program. So, be able to take what you have and market it and make a profit on it at the same time. One of my next projects was when I was in college. I went to USC. I lived in Marina del Rey, where there's a lot of boats. There's a marina area. And I used to notice that the men would like to party over the weekend, but they want to leave on a Sunday night and just go home, as opposed to cleaning up the boat. So I created a little marina mermaid service. So it's marina and it's a mermaid, and it was blue t-shirts with the blue buckets with our supplies, and we wore jeans. But I didn't want to do all that myself. So I spread the word on the campus were other students that wanted to make quick money and wanted to be able to do it within their work schedule, their school schedule rather. So they would come out and in the school schedule, do a couple boats and then go back, and I pay them $15. I'd keep $15, and we had $5 towards supplies. So we charged the boat owners $35. So it was great. It was good money for them. Cash was good for me. And we were doing great until one of the young ladies was smoking on the boat and the cushions got on fire. So we were able to replace the cushion. It was not any big damage, but we were warned that either we got insurance or the owner would report us and shut us down. Well, I looked at insurance at that time. I was only 18, 19 years old. It was really prohibitive, with the $1 million boats that we had it's ate up my profits. So, so we closed it down. I always thought later I would go back into it because I still look today to see if there's marinas mermaid services. But the moral of that story is that, you really have to have your proper baselines, your insurance, your accounting, things of that type that I've learned along the years, that you really have to have those in place first, especially nowadays in the society that we live in, and then be able to move your business beyond that. Because one thing, could just shut you down and cause you a lot of liability and problems. From there, I, got involved I had a modeling school and agency called the Models Media, where we produced fashion shows and we trained models in preparation for these fashion shows. We did Hotter Than July, or Razzmatazz, or Easter Magic, or Winter Wonderland. Some of them we had 100 models, actors, and dancers in the shows at big locations like the Bonaventure or Wilshire Bell, just big things, and they paid to participate in the show. And that they could either pay it themselves or they could get a sponsor, and the sponsor had advertising in our program. So it was a way for them to actually have it financed. And we had professionals and non-professionals, and we auditioned them. We put radio ads in, and we had hundreds, literally probably thousands of models in Hollywood, and actors and dancers apply. So the ones that were professional, we paid them, but we paid them with a model's media dollars, which means there was like credit towards the services that we offered. Because at that time we had a private label makeup line. We had photography studio for portfolios. We had video studios for video portfolios. We had a little fashion line with t-shirts and sweatshirts and things of that type. So they would we had other services they could actually use. So they put the money back into our company. So this is another great way that the lesson to that is that sometimes if you don't really have a lot of cash to pay people, they still have to spend money on other things. So perhaps it's other goods and services you can kind of barter within your own company with. And they were happy and they were good because it was all industry related. And we were happy because we got the professionals as well as the non-professionals. So, in business, I've been in quite a few different businesses there after real estate and different productions that there's always lessons learned. In some of the businesses I've made lots and lots of money, more money than I could ever count. And some of the businesses that just did not work out and I had no money to count. Being an entrepreneur is a journey. And you have to be able to withstand the journey and the up and down, and you learn from them. You just say, okay, when something works out, or if it does, even if it does or doesn't, take the lessons learned and be able to apply them towards your next venture and make it better. So when I was in real estate, I really wanted to get more women involved. I mostly did investment real estate, and I wanted more women to be involved. Most of my clients are men. So I created this CD series called From Babies to Bills to Riches in Real Estate. And it basically was designed to tell them all the transactions I did and how I started with no money down and how I went from one property to the other and built this real estate empire. And the thing is that I said women like to get together and it's better to communicate with them in person. So I said, I'll create some brunches. I'll invite people to my house. I'll create a brunch, invite them to my house. And I'll have certain speakers like getting out of your own way, finding the diva in you. Because I realized there was a lot of self-esteem issues. They didn't feel confident enough like the men did to be able to take their investments and invest in real estate. It just seemed like bigger. They'd rather buy expensive shoes or expensive purse as opposed to putting that into a property. And so we did it one Sunday at my house and we had a great time. They talked, they cried, they shared. They ate and they left. They said, let's do it again. So we did it again, and then we did it again. And then 8 months later, we had crowds coming to my house, but they were coming in with lawn chairs because it was so, packed. And I said, well, I had to bring my friends in to help me cater, to cook, and then I brought caterers in. And at that point, I said, okay, maybe we're on to something. But we have to be able to charge them and be able to charge. You have to have a bank account. Have a bank account, you had to do a DBA. A DBA, you needed to create a name. And he said, okay, what are we going to name this? And we decided to name it An Empowered Woman because that's the way the women felt when they left. We wanted to empower women. We wanted them to have that feeling. We wanted to have that behind them. And we took it from my home into the large venues, and we've grown from there. So 9 years later, here we are. Now, how the Power of 7 came up was when some person says, okay, when you started these businesses, because sometimes it's difficult to start one business. When you start a business, what are some of the things that you do that makes you grow, that you can grow so fast? We grew really fast. There's not a lot of time in anyone's life to really take it slow by slow. And I thought about it, and I said there was 7 different things that I consistently, even as of recently when I just rebuilt the business, rebuilt the magazine and so forth, that I use. And now the mediums have changed, the technology has changed, the concepts basically remain the same. And it's just being able to have different tools. And now it's even easier to be able to go global, go worldwide, whatever your message is. So are you ready for me to share those things? Yes?
Oh my gosh, I love that story. And yes, I'm ready for you to share that. But let me just first take a step back and look at the story. The story that you just told us was not just one of the journey, but it was one of the excitement and the lessons learned that you were able to bring forward to, the start of the Power of 7 and the things that you're doing now. And I just love that because, when we think about story, I like to talk about how story plays into all of this. You had a market. There was a market story. The market was ready to receive what it was that you were offering. You had your own story, which was the reason why you started all of this stuff, wanting to reach these women in real estate. And then you had the customer story. These were women who you knew were ready for the learning, the experiences that you were going to help them maneuver into through what it was that you were doing. And I like to look at those 3 pieces of the story, your story, the customer story, and the market story, and say that if they were bubbles, where they intersect in the middle is actually where the power is. So I love that we're going to talk about the power of 7 and the power that you experienced having journeyed through these things in your life, in your business career, that took you to a place of now offering these big events and offering opportunities for women to really be served as you were serving them. So yeah, take us into the Power of 7.
Well, when you're going back a bit, like you did, with about this, in regards to the story, everybody has a story. And everyone's story is important. And I think the one most important thing that I want to share at this point, at this juncture, is that we define our own success, in our stories, whether success of graduating school or having a relationship or raising children or building a business or the way that we look, losing 10 pounds or whatever it is, we all define that success. And that is part of our story. I think that kind of crafts our story, that kind of molds our story, because that's what we tell ourselves every day. That's how we show up into the world to our clients that we are engaging in. That kind of defines like even who we want to talk to. Like I talk to women in business because I relate to that. You know, maybe it's because something about me, and I'm really interested in this, do research that, but something about me that wanted to support other women in business because that I saw that they needed that support. I went to seminars when I was really, really young, and I would sit there in the audience and see, at that time it was men, predominantly men, all men basically, and I would look at them and I would hear them, their success, whether it's Anthony Robbins or Zig Ziglar's or Robert Allen's, whoever was around that time. And I would say, well, yeah, it's easy for them to do because they probably have a wife at home and they probably have, you know, support system. Maybe their parents gave them some money, or some, they have friends that are really investing in them. And but I'm, you know, a single woman, or I'm, you know, a minority, or I'm don't have that access. I just come from a normal home. I've got to make it all myself. I don't have a husband, you know, or anyone at home to carry the extra weight. And I think because I used to think about that, and I think that I used to think, not necessarily it's correct, but I think their journey was a little easier. They had that support system, because many times women don't have that support system. Many times, even if they do have husbands or family members, first of all, they still have to take on the job of being the caretaker or the homemaker, keep that together. And then their business is kind of comes after all that, after the kids are taken care of and the home is taken care of, then their business is. So they're switching hats all day long. And then they're supposed to make that work, you know, and not without having less time and many times less support. It's looked at as a hobby, or unless it's actually generating income. So they have to make that work and all that extra time and all those extra duties behind it. And I used to feel for that because I would see that over and over again. So it was this, besides us having our skill sets that we had to bring to the table, we had to have such a powerful mindset to keep showing up every day and saying, this is a business, this is going to be big, envisioning it the way that we wanted to envision it, and not as a hobby, not as a, even for working from home, not as a working from home mom, it's as a business, a real business. So therefore, many times it's some of the things I mentioned in the baselines, like the legal and the accounting and, you know, the insurance and things like that are not implemented because it's never looked at as a real strong business. And I've noticed the difference in my success of my businesses if you have the foundation, the business foundation part of it, and bring your skill set on top of it, then you have a much stronger success rate. And not only to yourself, the way you look at it, because again, you define your success, but to everybody else. And I just want to make a moment to share that, because we can take all the skills, we can take all the talents, but it's just really creating some real mindset of your business. And that way you communicate that to other people, and then you can be able to bring it together as you talk about the market. So I think that's really important.
That is so key what you're saying, Desiree, because most women will say that if they have ever had any challenges in life, they have felt as though they've been on this journey alone. They have not had the support system. And there have been studies after studies. I can recall one, as a matter of fact, the Catalyst organization did a story back in 2000. Yeah, back in 2000. And, or actually it was in 98 and 99, they released the results in 2000, which basically said women in the corporate environment had two issues that they said prevented them or hindered them from making the kind of progress into the higher ranks of executive management. One was the support system. They felt as though there wasn't any. And then the second was adequate mentorship. There weren't executive coaches back then that catered to women. Mm-hmm. There weren't, you know, people within the workspace that actually mentored women. Mm-hmm. And why should it be any different if we're on the outside of the corporate environment where we're thinking about having, as women, our own businesses? And 10 years later, would you know that the Catalyst organization went back to update that study and found that the top two things that women executives in the corporate environment experienced 10 years prior were still the prevalent factors that impeded women from moving ahead in the corporate environment, even 10 years later. And I mean, this was after corporate America said, you know, we're going to look at increasing employee engagement by doing X, Y, and Z. There was a lot that was done, but there was still this disjointedness from really addressing the needs of women. And so I love what you're saying, because that's one of the reasons why when I came out of corporate America, I decided that my client base was going to be women for very much similar reasons. We needed it. I needed it. And I knew that there were other women out there. And my background's in commercial real estate. How many women, throughout the last 30 years have actually been playing in the field of commercial real estate? There haven't been a lot. Yeah. And so and that's one of the reasons that this subject matter resonated so much with me. And our conversation spoke so deeply to me, because there is a lot of power in the connectedness that women can share to support each other. And out of it coming such beautiful things like the Power of Seven program. So by all means, please share.
Okay, yes. Well, thank you for that, because I just really want to make sure that with all the tools you need to that relationship. So the Power of Seven is 7 things that you can do to grow and build your business, more visibility, more credibility, and revenue streams. So the first thing is pretty relatively simple, but speaking opportunities and events. So being able to get out there and be able to get your message, precise your message, clarify it, and then be able to communicate it in speaking opportunities, that's really powerful, because that way you're reaching masses of people at the same time as opposed to your one-on-ones. You can do it nowadays. You can do it in person, where you go to different meetups. There's tons of meetups. Go to meetup.com, find people in your areas, find people in your industry, your interests, whatever it is. You can go to the Rotaries, the Chamber of Commerce. There's so many women groups and organizations. Just Google them all over the world, and other organizations that may be relevant to your industry and to your topic, where they're always looking for speakers to be able to do that. So if you're speaking to people, people can hear what you're wanting and be able to enroll them in that way. Also, now all the online features, being able to speak again through Google Hangouts and other Skype, where you can speak and be able to share your information worldwide. So your speaking is still number one of the best ways to enroll people. And then being able to create different events. So if you don't find enough speaking events for yourself, create your own events. Whether you do a monthly event, doing a monthly workshop, a monthly meeting. We used to do something called the Second Sundays. And every second Sunday of the month, we invited different speakers to speak on different topics. And for years, I simply invited people. I acted as the host of the event, invited different experts. And why I invited those experts is because of the fact that they brought their tribes, they brought their community. They brought that more, I got more visibility, because again, they had a reputation. I selected people that had great reputations, had great information. So I brought them in, which means I brought all their talents and expertise and community with them. So that helped me build my list. So there's different ways of live events. There's like 5 or 6 different ways you can generate income from it. Just going through a few of them. One, you can have ticket sales. You can charge for the lunch or breakfast or just for the event itself, and people will pay for admission. Another way is that you can, if you have access to a community like we did, speakers will pay to be on the stage. So if it's their target market, then they will pay you X amount of dollars to fill the seats. Because many people have talent, but they don't have the ability to fill the seats, especially in different cities. When they decide to go in different cities, they don't have community there. So they look upon people that do, and they'll pay you X amount of dollars because they know they can sell the room. So they know if they pay you $2,000, they're going to be able to sell a product, a program, or service and make $10,000 or $20,000, depending on their skill set. So they will pay you to put the butts in the seat, so to say. Or otherwise, they'll pay you'll do a revenue share, joint venture. They will come and work on your stage, and they give you a percentage of whatever they sell. So you want to be careful that there's the people that have a good opportunity, a good ability to enroll your room. And then that way you can have one speaker, you could have collaboration of speakers. Sometimes we had 3, sometimes we had 6, and simply we got a percentage or a flat fee from everybody that sold something. Then there's also a way that you can get on the stage if you're a good speaker and you have a good product and program, and you enroll people. So you create these events with different topics, and then you sell from the stage. You give them information, and then you sell from the stage. Another way is to have marketing tables. Okay, again, you have people that want to be in front of that target market. Ours was women in business, women entrepreneurs. So the people that had either jewelry or had other business solutions or had accountants or attorneys or other things they wanted to sell in the back of the room. So they pay you anywhere from $200 to $1,000, depending on the length of the event and depends on the amount of people, your capacity. Another way is to get sponsors to sponsor the event. Again, they want your target market. So we've had anywhere from AT&T, we've had other business owners that want to be able to be in front of that audience. And what you do is you create a package for them. Maybe they meet and greet. Maybe they have a marketing table. Maybe they do the introductions. Maybe they have mic time as well. Maybe they're the presenters of the event. Maybe they give away different packages, samples, enrollments, whatever it is, but they have an opportunity to present their product and program and service to this captive audience. So there's multiple different ways, or all the above. And we've had events where we have people paying from the stage, we've had ticket sales, we've had marketing tables, we've had sponsors. And then what people mostly forget about is that after the event, you can still contact people, because the people that have not enrolled, you can contact them and say, thank you so much for coming. And now you had a great opportunity to enroll in this program. You didn't take advantage of it. Is there any questions I can ask you, or any information you need, any more information that you need to make a decision? And sometimes they just have certain questions they weren't ready to do it that day. Maybe the funds weren't available. Maybe their interest wasn't available. They need to think about it. Some people sleep on things. So you can still get those sales after the fact. And then even the people that didn't make it, they maybe expressed interest or purchased a ticket and didn't make it. You see, well, I see that you weren't able to join us on Sunday, but however, I didn't want you to miss what was going on. And let me share with you what we talked about, or what the program was, or what the offering was. So sometimes people say, well, great, thanks you so much for letting me know about that. And I do want to participate in that and enroll in that. So, just from one event, whether it's small in your home, we started in my home, or whether it's a large center, whether it's now you can do it in coffee shops, you can do it in yoga studios and restaurants, clubs, you can do anything, anywhere. People now are very creative. We've moved Lululemon, there's a clothing store, athletic clothing store, high-end clothing store. They move their racks on Saturday mornings and give free yoga classes to get people into the studio. So there's a lot of places that I'm doing an event recently in a college. I'm doing an event next month in the back of a clothing store. She gets traffic. She has a beautiful space in the back, so she'll get clients. I'll get the space. I've done them, just this weekend I did it in a beautiful home, a gorgeous multi-million-dollar home. So you can give events and people will enroll, and sometimes the more interesting and the more relaxed it is, the more comfortable they are, and more they're able to enroll. You have to keep in mind that people will enroll on different levels. And that's why we have a multimedia program. That's why the Power 7 is multimedia. Some will want to read about it, and they'll print it, highlight it, make a decision. Other people will want to hear about it, your audio, and they'll listen to it over and over and over again at their leisure. Some people will want to be able to see the video. They want to see you, and they want to just get more relate more to you, and just kind of embrace that method. Other people just want to be in person. They want to know, like, and touch you. They want to really be able to say, this person is real. I resonate with them. I want to enroll. They want more. So that's why we created this program, to be able to enroll people in different levels. So that's your live event and speaking. The second thing is articles, okay? Being able to write articles, to be able to enroll people with the written word. A lot of people are not natural writers. And I suggest picking the 12 most commonly asked questions in your industry. So whatever it is, there's some questions that people are always asking you, and you're always answering them. Check and see if those are available on Google and how they look on Google, because those are the same questions people are Googling in. And so if they're Googling in, how do I bake a chocolate cake? And you have the answer there, then likeliness they'll find you, and that's how they'll find you. So, and that's easy, because most people know in their heads, question and answer. So they can do that, and they can create these articles, and these articles can be submitted into blogs, to online magazines, online newspapers, for their own blogs. It can be chapters to a book that eventually, after they do 12 or 15 chapters, now they have an ebook, or they can be downloads. They can be freebies for free, a lead generation, just whatever it is, they can utilize that, but that's available to people who want to be able to enroll in that level. The next thing is being able to take that same information and repurpose it and utilize that as your script for your radio show. Now you have radio shows or podcasts, it's audio. So it depends on how you're distributing it. And they've got free websites like Blog Talk Radio. And you can record your radio show there, and then you can just submit it to iTunes as a podcast. Podcasts and audio are huge, because even myself, I drive a lot, I travel a lot. I listen to audio when I'm cooking, when I'm when I'm doing my makeup, when I can still multitask, in other words, and not have to worry about missing anything. And it's easy, and I can lay in my bed and listen to something and consciously take advantage of that information. And people now want to select what they listen and they see. So people now are not just going to random radio; they're going to podcasts with their interests, interested in stocks, sports, finance, business, whatever it is. They will follow you and listen and listen. So being able to take that contact, those same questions and those same answers, and be able to communicate it that way, along with different interviews, whatever your format may be, is a great way to be able to do it. So communicating in the audio form. And then the next thing is being able to take that same information and repurpose it to your video. So now we have the Google Hangouts. You can do video for Skype. You can do videos you can tape and upload to YouTube. There's so many different things that you can do, mediums now that you can do. You can do it from your phones. You can do it from your iPads, you can do it from computers. It no longer needs to be in a formal studio. People do it in their cars. They do it in the bathroom. They do it anywhere in the bedrooms. They just do it. And sometimes the more real you are, depending on what your subject matter is, and your personality, it doesn't have to be formal. It just has to be, you want to communicate that. It has to be appropriate for your tribe, whoever's watching you, what they're going to relate to, and what they can communicate with. But that's huge, because the video, your audio, and your written word can go worldwide in moments, minutes, seconds, all over the world. No longer are we limited to the people that we connect with. The next chapter of the Power 7, next thing we work with is, now you have your information. In the meantime, some of us are starting off. We don't have a lot of content, or if we do, we want to be able to bring in more credibility and more visibility by bringing in joint venture partners. But joint venture partners, again, others that you can have this conversation like you and I. This is a joint venture. You have your community, I have my community. We're joint venturing on this project, and we're sharing resources and information. So you can do it in person, you can do it in audio or video, but being able to bring other people onto your stage. So remember, as smart and wonderful as you are, your community are going to get tired of that possibly eventually. So the more you keep changing it up, the more you keep making it fresh and bringing in the other experts, you're not taking away from your stage. You're actually, empowering your stages more. And people will come out of the woodwork and say, oh, that's different, that's new, that's interesting. So do that, because that's, again, it only serves you better. And if you're selling something, it just gives you more resources, more of a list, and more opportunity to be able to sell. And you can work different ways, whether it's just for information. Sometimes there's joint ventures where you act as an affiliate, and they're selling something, and they give you a percentage or a flat fee, whatever they sell. So that's your affiliates relationships. We used to have a program called Strictly Business, and I think we're going to implement this again in 2016. Like every third Thursday of the month, we had great people come in, and they spoke about business opportunities and their success. And they sold their programs, whether it's in corporate, like we have tonight, call with Linda Hollander, who specializes in sponsorships. So she has a great program of sponsorship for those who want sponsorship. So whatever she sells, we get a percentage of. But we're more importantly, we're sharing information from experts to our community. Because again, as smart as we are, we're not experts in everything. And we used to bring someone in every month. There's also websites you can create, to just have, we have one called Good Monday Morning. And we interviewed it's like the place where busy professionals can find the best products, programs, and services online. So we had the virtual tours with people from PayPal or Infusionsoft or Weebly, all these different business solutions. And they simply recorded it, and we're sharing it with different communities every Monday morning. If someone clicks on it, they'll get information. If they decide to purchase the product or program, then we get an affiliate fee. That's your passive income. So there's ways you can put it on your website, include it on your blogs, include it in your resource center, include it on your emails. Hey, this is my special this week, this month, whatever it is. Where people just click through, and then you're compensated for that. You're basically the publisher, you're advertising for the different marketing companies. So that's all these different things I'm sharing with you. By the way, you can make not only hundreds of thousands of dollars, but literally millions of dollars. There are people in all of these industries, from the speaking to the events, to the podcasts, to the affiliates, that are making millions of dollars doing it. So I present it as a buffet and ideas, and you take what you think you like and dig deeper into it. And that one thing could be your magic wand to your business. Also sponsorships. Some people, again, specialize in sponsorships, doing events for sponsorships. And it doesn't have to be a live event. It could be, again, like your show you do consistently. You have a show you do consistently. You have a community, and you have content. Somebody who wants your market could say, okay, I want that market too, and I'll sponsor you. What they look for is content, consistency, and a community. And if you've got their eyes, their target market, it can be as little as $500, it can be as big as $5,000. Because people are looking for, are embracing the less is more concept, which means that instead of going to the LA Times where they get maybe millions of viewers, but the percentage of people that are going to look at their product is narrowed down. They rather have 10 of their perfect target market in the room. I used that example yesterday. I said, would you like to have 10 women? The young lady had a beauty spa. Would you like to have 10 six-figure women that spend $12,000 a year on their beauty, health and beauty? Or would you rather have 100,000 in the LA Times? And people have seen your ad in the LA Times. And so her comment was, I'd rather have that 10 that's targeted, spends X amount of dollars on their health and beauty, be in front of them than be in front of hundreds of thousands. So the concept is there. So people would rather be right in front of your market, and they'll pay more for that because the chances of them enrolling in that one is going to make a difference. So sponsorships in that way has changed. And many times we think of the sponsors as the big banks, the Citibanks and Bank of America, things like that. There's lots of other businesses that, I've sponsored things where I know they're going to be in front of women in business. So I know I needed 1 to sign up or 2 to sign up to get my ROI. So people now are going embracing that less is more, giving my target market, and I will go with that. So be comfortable approaching your local attorney, your doctor, your accountant, your business solution, your whatever works for you. The people that I say, whoever you write the next check to, or whoever bill you next person you pay the bill, that's the person you should be asking. Because now you're supporting them, maybe it's time for them to be able to support you. So that's the sponsorships. The next thing is being able to learn the technology as far as doing teleclasses, telecalls, Google Hangouts, and webinars. Again, huge opportunities to make millions of dollars. Because teleclass is simply by the phone. Some people still prefer that. You can communicate what you want to communicate. People all over the world can be on. You can do it really quickly, easily, and you can do it yourself by sharing information, creating series, creating mastermind events from it, creating membership events from it, bringing on interviewers, bringing on experts. Just many ways doing conversations where you can have a topic and just everybody gets a chance to talk. Sometimes people just want to be able to vent, be able to share ideas and be able to kick ideas around, with other like-minded individuals. So to have a community, they can just call in and say, this is what I'm working on. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And get some real honest feedback. It's very valuable. It saves you thousands of dollars for sure. And it's supposed to testing it yourself and lots of time. So telecalls, webinars, the same thing, taking your information. It's just a visible. Webinars, the difference is that you actually see something. It's usually a visual. They make either a PowerPoint or some other program where you see the people, you see the presentation. Or like a Google Hangout, like we're doing, they can see us communicating. And it could be anywhere in the world we can be doing this from and talking about any topic. And people can chat, they can participate, they can email, they can be involved as much as we want them to be in it. So now there's so many mediums that are totally, absolutely free to be able to do and create programs and products and services around it that you can just use. You don't have to leave your house. You don't have to even, for the telecalls, you don't have to put your makeup on. So there's different ways of being able to do different things to be able to create that income. That's one medium. And then being able to take all these things and utilize it in your social media. It's a lot of people say, what do I put in my social media? I don't want to tell everybody what I'm doing and what I'm eating and all that good stuff. Or we only have so much, recipes that we can use. The good thing is sharing your article, sharing your events, sharing your radio shows, sharing your videos, sharing your testimonials, sharing your interviews, sharing this information consistently on different topics. You can put a topic a month. So say, for example, you had this 12 most commonly asked questions, and you had one question a month that you talked about, or one topic we talked about tonight. Maybe this month was the month we talked about story. We would be able to have interviews and story. We'd be able to explore story in all these different mediums and all these different ways with all these different people for this whole month, and be able to share it and share it and share it. Now, you provide information. We're in the information age. And if you provide information, they don't want to be sold. They want to be informed. So if you're providing the information, you are considered their expert. And if you're their expert, you're the person they're going to go to when they need your product, program, or service. So no longer do you need to say, buy from me. You need to be able to tell people why they should want to engage and enroll with you and what their benefits are going to be from there. And so these are the 7 tools between the live events and speaking opportunities, between your articles, your written word, between your radio, podcast, your audio, between your video, including your Google Hangouts and things, and YouTube and things of that type, between creating more joint ventures and affiliates and sponsors so you can finance all that. Being able to take those videos and audios and those things and create products and programs and services from it, from YouTube, from memberships, from masterminds, things of that type, and being able to take all of that and sharing it with your social media makes you a very busy girl. But there's a way to do it, speaking of being busy, that we do it where it's just done really, really easy. It's maintaining it. Once you set it up, you maintain it. It only takes 1 hour, 2 hours a week to be able to maintain. You have your video day or your media day. And that's the day that you make your new videos, you make your new emails, you make your new articles, whatever, and then you share it out. But that's a 1 hour, 2 hours. Otherwise, it just takes minutes to go on and do it and maintain it. Because most people, the last thing they have is time. So we've created it in a way where it takes very little time once you set it up. And that's why we take information and repurpose it and bring people in so you constantly have fresh, new information without having to create all of it yourself.
That's amazing. You went through that in such great detail. I hope everybody in the audience had their pen and paper, because you gave such amazing suggestions for opportunities, not just for delivering your message, but for the reciprocal. You exchange value for value, and what you give out in the way of value coming back to you in the way of value. You named some amazing ways of turning some of the things that some people just think, I don't know how to monetize this. And you just gave them so many ways of moving that into the space of monetization. Thank you so much. That was really great. Question for you. Is there any one method that you prefer over another?
Quite honestly, my favorite would be the podcast and the telecalls, because the makeup, the visual part of it, I still feel more comfortable. I can implement quicker. Now, eventually we'll grow past that and get past that, but I can get on the phone and do a telecall really easily. And the podcast. And then you can make, there's an example of who's making millions of dollars of podcasts. It's, if you're going to go to EOFire, EOFIRE.com. It's John Lee Dumas. He's been on my show, his podcast. I've been on his podcast. He's been on my podcast. He, on his website, EOFIRE.com, shows his revenue reports. And he shows you month by month what he makes gross, what he nets. He even talks about his expenses. He talks about how he makes that. A couple months ago, he made over $500,000 a month for his podcast. He makes an average about $200,000 or $300,000 a month for his podcast. What he does, he interviews entrepreneurs. That's all he does, interview entrepreneurs. And his podcast comes out every day. But what he has implemented, as I mentioned to you, he has sponsors. Income from there. I was
going to say, yeah.
Income from there. He created programs, webinars, teaching you how to do a podcast. He teaches that, income from there. He teaches you how to do webinars. He does webinars, income from there. He's implemented the things that I'm sharing with you that you can implement with something, that one thing, and create all these revenue streams from. So if he decided not to ever leave his house, he'd still have all this working for him, or to do it by the beach, or do it by wherever he wants to do it. He has a system down and a support system which makes it work. Also, we did a digital magazine, the Let's Talk Success magazine. And in that magazine, we've implemented the video. We have a video in there called Let's Talk Success, where we interview women that are 7 figures, and they share their stories, challenges, victories, and secrets to success. And we modeled it after Lifestyles of Rich and Famous. Because as women, we love seeing people's houses and their cars and their clothing and the stuff like that. We want to, just like, people want to see cribs and things of that type, but most of the time it was men. So this is for the women, because there's a lot of very, very, very powerful women in business, and I want to be able to create a stronger platform for showing their lives. We have the podcast in that. We have an article in that. We have the photographs in that. We have sponsors in that. and we have affiliates in that one vehicle. So that one magazine we're going to really embrace next year. This year we spent some time kind of getting proof of concept, filling it out, getting our styling together. But next year we're going to go strong on that and create that as a monthly, as a bi-monthly, hopefully eventually a weekly, because then we'll be able to cover and all over the world. I'll be able to travel all over the world, interviewing women all over the world who would create the 7-figure mark. So I like projects like that where you incorporate it. And if you start looking at a lot of successful models, you will see that now they're implementing that. Because again, in NLP, if you study NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, people enroll and engage on different levels. And if you really want to capture everybody, you've got to come to them or communicate to them in the way that they're going to be able to enroll in. So that works for that. So that's kind of what I would choose where I'm going with that. Just being able to do a little bit of everything, I guess. I like the live. I like it all, but I like that. Those are the easiest.
I love it. So, I'm huge when it comes to strategy. And I can tell from what it is that you're talking about that you have not only spent the time in seeing the vision of it all, but you spent some time in the strategy development. Talk about how important that time in strategy development has been for you.
Well, like in anything else, it's, and they refer to it as a business plan, but business plans don't have to necessarily be, it's nice when they have them all written out, but that strategy is like, what's the big picture? Because if we just look at our business for today, this week, this month, this year, then that's very limited business. We have to pretend and think and, get our mindset. This is like 3-year, 5-year, a lifetime plan. What do you want to do for the rest of your life? And then more importantly, not only your business plan, but for me, more importantly, is your exit plan. Okay, that's my strategy. My strategy is that, okay, when I decide by choice or by chance to stop working, I've developed some collateral. I've got some products that I can sell or monetize or pass on. So if your business is still just you still, then when at the end of the day, who's going to be running that? Your income will stop. And that's what a lot of women do. If they get sick or something happens, they stop. They're trading that dollar for hours, then their business stops. So that's why I had a strategy of being able to take my expertise and put it into that digital magazine, which I can expand worldwide. And if I'm right now, my participation is basically being the interviewer, but I can easily replace the person that does the interview, but I would still have that, where I'm covering all areas, all agents, and I can sell it out, sell it off, or delegate it and still manage it, or have someone else be managed and be able to do that. So your strategy is just like when you build a house. You can have the most expensive doors, the most fabulous chandeliers, but if you don't get that foundation, those walls, those windows, and that ceiling up, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to mean anything. You have the $300,000 car. If you don't have the right gas for it, you don't have gas for it, it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to sit there. Baking a chocolate cake. If you don't do certain things in a certain order, in a certain way, it's not going to come out the same, period. So that's the same thing in your business. There's certain ways of doing things, and we do it in certain orders. And also, not in the order to make it strong and build a great foundation, but to make it easier. When I say starting with your article, it's because that usually things have to be there anyway. So you can utilize that as your script for your video, for your audio, for your topics, for your, your interviews and things that, for your mastermind, for your topics, for everything like that. You can create a strategy, makes it easier. You put it in a system like Trello. We use Trello. Plan it out 12 months. Know how much you have to do to be able to create your desired income. We know if you want $100,000, you have to sell 8,333 a month, so much, 2,000 something a week, so much a day. And when you look at it that way, you can say, okay, I need to sell 12 products this month, or 10 programs this month, or 20 this month at this amount of dollars, and that will bring me my money. And some months will be better, some months will be lower, but it enables you to just keep going. Like from here to San Francisco, it's a couple ways to go. You got to pick one, go that way, and you'll get there. Otherwise, you won't get there. So the strategies are whatever you're doing, think big, think far. Otherwise, think, you're working towards the future, and be able to think, then break it down into what your action steps need to be, what you need, and then how you're going to build your financial income from that. What you need to be able to do every month. So sometimes it's big, sometimes it's slow, and that's the death of an entrepreneur is when you can't depend on your income. Your life depends on it. Your lifestyle depends on it.
I know. And that brings me to my final question. I mean, I generally even ask all of my visitors about what does social entrepreneurship mean to you. But you know what? I want to forego this because what came to me was something that a lot of women actually struggle with in this whole process of, setting the vision, building the strategy, deciding that it's okay to go in this direction, take Route 1 versus 101 to go from LA to San Francisco. But the thing that trips most women up is the concept of sales. Is there one huge tip that you might have for our viewers on the mindset of sales that you could share?
First of all, the mindset is that you're selling every day, all day, anyway. Whether you're selling your child on eating that bowl of porridge or vegetables, whether you're selling your partner or husband on getting that new car, or whether you're selling, the merchant to give you a discount, you're selling. So the thing is that if you don't sell your potential client, your product, program, or service, somebody else will. So do you want the money in your pocket? Do you want the money in their pocket? And with that mindset, you say, okay, if you're looking for a car, you're going to buy a car. No, whether you buy it from me or Joe or John or Susan or Sam, whatever, it doesn't matter. You're going to buy a car. And so those monies are going to transfer from your pocket to somebody's pocket. So do you want it to go to theirs or do you want to go to yours? And if you truly believe in what you're doing, which I know that women are doing the best they can in all their businesses. I really do. I see that over and over again. If we put our hearts, our soul, we want to do the best. And you know that you're the best for them, then why aren't you communicating that to them? And you have to feel like, again, it's like if I have a girlfriend, and this is how a lot of people embrace it. I have a girlfriend and I got these great shoes on sale. I'm going to tell her, girl, you've got to get these shoes. They're this, they're that, they're this, they're that, they're on sale, they're great price, they feel comfortable. You can wear it with this, you can wear that, you can wear this with that. You've got to do it. You need it. You need these shoes. You need that. And that's the same thing I would do for a client. If I know I'm talking to an entrepreneur and she has a business, she's struggling, and I know how to help her, then I would not be a friend. I would not even be a good person by not even communicating how I could help her. And say that, listen, you have this problem, right? You told me you have this problem. I always go with the ask, tell, ask. Ask them what their problems are, what the challenges are, what they need, what's struggling, what the struggles are, how much these struggles are affecting their life, their lifestyle, and what these struggles are costing them. The lack of them taking the power of 7, let's utilize that example. There are women that have all kinds of great programs. People say to me, oh, I got videos, I got this, I got that, I got blog, okay, great. My question is, how's it working for you? Are you making $100,000 from those? Yes or no? And if the answer is no, then having all that obviously is not the solution. So maybe doing those in a different order in a way that works, that can create you that 6 figures, would make a difference. So, so you have all that, you spend a lot of time, lots of money, everything I share with you today, Lynn, and your community, they can figure it out on their own. But what's their time worth? And why would you not want to just get it done? Go to someone to get it done, get it done. So being able to say, okay, this is what your problem is, and I have a solution. Now this is what it costs. They compensate whatever the cost of the price is. You show them how it's much, even if it's not less expensive, it doesn't have to be less expensive, but their time and their value and their frustration, what they're losing clients, they're losing time, and they're losing even the energy. We lose energy when we just get drained and something doesn't work. It drains our energy. It just saps us. We start losing our self-confidence. We start questioning not only our product, our process, ourselves. So to be able to do something successfully is huge. Not only just monetary wise, but also just, mentally, just spiritually. It's a great win spiritually. So I say, it's my opportunity to tell you, I have this system. It's worked for me. I think I shared to you in our last conversation that I had lost a lot of time and money in real estate. I lost my mom. I lost my children to became empty nester. I had to move. A lot of things happened. I had literally had to start over not too long ago, a couple of years ago. And what did I do? I did the power 7. I went back to the basics, and that brought me up and back on track. And so it's something that I've shown. A lot of our clients, ladies, have said, I had this, I've been that, I've been in business for all these years, haven't been able to put the pieces together. And some of them are professionals. They're very smart and they're geniuses, but they didn't know the multimedia marketing. They didn't know how to do it easy. They didn't know how to do it, they didn't know how to create this monetize speaking events. More importantly, they know how to monetize their expertise. So they've done the program, they've created more money, they've done it easy, they've been able to delegate it, they've been able to automate it, and they've been able to have great success with it and actually stay in their lane. They're able to do what they want to do and stay in their lane because they're not doing all these other little things that they have to wind up doing that they're not making money at, they're not monetizing. So they're able to monetize expertise. So sales, I don't know, it's a long answer for that, but you're selling anyway. If you have something your heart felt about, then make sure that you at least give everyone the opportunity to be able to take advantage of it. Because if you don't, somebody will. And when they raise their hand to something, that means they're interested. They just want you to be able to talk them through that process and to get them and take them on the other side. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but at least you tried.
And, I'm so glad you said that because it's okay. Everyone has the ability to choose what they feel is best for themselves. And you really want to reach the people who resonate with what it is that you're doing, who are raising their hands, ready, willing, and able to do what's necessary to work with you. And I know that a lot of women in this whole mindset of sales, I don't want to be salesy. And I love how you put it because you really talked about the value that women are able to bring to the conversation around what it is that they do. And when you're talking value, you're talking at a higher level than what most people conceive of as sales. And, it's helped a lot of my clients to think of sales as the conversation of value, just exactly the way that you said. If you're not providing this value for somebody else will. And they'll be paying them for that. So why not pay you? Why not pay you for bring to the world? And it is value. We live in a world now that is moving more towards the value to value exchange. And having said that, I know that you brought something even of more value to the audience. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how someone might be able to connect with you and receive the lasting value besides this video that they can from you?
Yes, I would welcome, and we welcome your communication. We love for anyone that to be able to reach out to us. One thing is that we always promote our phone number. Call. I know a lot of people don't have their phone number anywhere and they don't want to talk. We want to talk to you because we want the conversation. So you can feel free to contact us at 818-865-8563 and push any one extension. If we're not there, then we'll simply call you back. So that's one way because we still want to talk. Another thing is that if you go to our website and opt in, and you get two things. One, you'll be able to subscribe to the magazine. It's for free. And those Let's Talk Success magazines, those stories, those challenges, those victories are really, really powerful because they came from such obstacles, and these women are so real and they're so transparent and they're so authentic that it's just very motivational. I listen to them all the time, and I was actually there and I've heard the story before. But sometimes just to hear that, this kind of gives you that extra, yes, I can. So you'll get the subscription to the magazine and you'll be able to share that. It has a video, it has the audio, it has the articles, it has the 6 Secrets to Success. And we also dedicate a page to the charity of choice every month. And then also on top of it, I will have these Power 7 videos. I did a video series. It's very casual, but in case you didn't write notes and didn't document all the things that I share them in these videos that you can rewind and go back and forth and participate in. So anyone who opts in the next 24 hours, I will know that we have a special code that we don't have to put a code in, but we have a special way of tracking. If you opt in for the next 24 hours, I will send you those videos complimentary. And they go for a couple $100 automatically. So you'll have that gift just for you for the Power 7 videos. So you'll be able to see what much you can get, implement as much as you can, and hopefully you'll be able to come back and join us for some live interaction.
Beautiful. Thank you. And that is go to an empowered
woman.com. ANEMPOWEREDWOMAN.com and empoweredwoman.com.
Thank you so much, Desiree. It truly is about empowering women that moves me. And I've seen a lot of the stories and out of the magazine, and I have to tell this audience, they've been inspiring me to continue to do what I'm doing and continue to embrace the fact that it is women helping women that's going to get us where we'd like to be, where we'd like to go, help us to reach out the distances to do the work that we have come here to do on this planet today. So reach into anempoweredwoman.com, opt in, subscribe to the magazine, and you'll be able to also get Desiree's video series on the power of 7. Desiree, thank you so much for being here today. It has truly been a pleasure hosting you and having you as a guest. Is there any last thing that you want to leave with our audience before we wrap things up for today?
I would like to remind everyone not to let anything or anyone dim the light that shines within. And until we meet again, stay empowered.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. And to our audience, you heard it. Don't let anything dim the light within you. You are already an empowered woman. Stay in that space by connecting with other empowered women and helping others to connect within. Join us again next week, right here, same place, same time, for the BIZ Info Zone Show. We've got another great show coming up for you. And remember, Desiree Doubrox is at anempoweredwoman.com. Thanks again, Desiree. Thank you to our audience for joining us today. My name is Lynn Hawkins. I'm your host here in the zone, the BIZ Info Zone. And I want to thank our sponsor for today, the P3 Academy of Social Entrepreneurship, where business acceleration is our mission. And our mission is to see you to do more good in the world by earning more revenue, more quickly, more easily. So thanks again for joining us. We'll see you next time right here. Bye for now.